Ho ho ho, ha ha ha, he he he. I'm here to talk to you today about joy and why we are so often uncomfortable being joyful and having joy in our life. This came up as sort of a side topic in a video I did recently. And several of you said, hey, yeah, we want you to talk about that. Talk about why we're uncomfortable being joyful. So this is my take on why, we want joy, but we have a hard time letting ourselves feel joy. I think there's the first aspect of that where there's an example that Brene Brown gives in one of her books where she talks about, say that you're a mother and you go into your child's bedroom as they're sleeping, just to check in on them. And you see your precious baby sleeping there, laying in bed, and you're overcome with just love for this child and just joy at their preciousness, right? And then immediately you have this other thought come in that is something along the lines of oh no, what if something bad happens? What if they get injured or they get hurt or I lose them or they die or whatever, right? And all that joy and that love that you're feeling suddenly gets blocked by fear and anxiety. That joy, that love could be taken away from you. And so Brene talks about it in terms of we can't selectively numb. So we try to numb out the fear and the pain, but then we also end up numbing the joy, right? So I think that's something that we just do as people. We're so afraid of getting hurt or of losing the good thing that we actually prevent ourselves from having the good thing. We block ourselves from having it. Does that make sense? And then I also think that there's this aspect of joy when you think about children. Children and pets are such a beautiful example of so many ways that we could be joyful, right? Think of a child or yourself as a child showing up in all of your exuberance, or even yourself now. So an example for me in my life is when I get excited, I get really loud. I get so loud. I get loud. I project. I get excited. I take up a lot of space. I giggle. I laugh. I yell. I jump around. When I'm excited about something, my energy gets big. And I think when I was young, this was a lot for maybe the adults in my life. And I was told, shh, sit down, be quiet, blah, blah, blah. Not that I'm not blaming anybody for that, because I know I've done that to my kids. It's overwhelming sometimes. But that is a way that I've learned to numb the joy, right? Not allow myself to go there because it might be too much for the people around me. And I learned to feel some sort of shame. I shouldn't be this big, this loud, this joyful, this excited, right? And then there's also the times when we are feeling that and the people around us aren't feeling it. And so we think that maybe we shouldn't be feeling joyful, or we shouldn't be happy, or we shouldn't be content, or we shouldn't be at peace because the people around us aren't. And because most of us were raised, and again, this is not with blame, most everybody was raised to look outside of themselves for approval and who they should be and how they should be. So if you're feeling joyful and happy and excited, or even peaceful and content and at ease, and the people around you aren't, it could make you think there's something wrong with you. So if the world around you is not reflecting back joy, it could be really uncomfortable for you to feel joy and to feel okay, right? Because a lot of times in our relationships, and this is where a lot of us have codependent tendencies, we are with people, and I know I've done this to people and I had it done to me, where it's expected that if they're having a bad day, that we need to now be having a bad day with them, right? Or if I'm having a bad day, I need you to not be having a good day, because that makes me feel worse. Does that make sense? And so we are uncomfortable being okay. Most of us are super comfortable not being okay. We're okay we feel more comfortable in the negative. Just think about a lot of your relationships over time, right? And over the years. How many of them have been based on complaining or comparing or gossiping or whatever? It's just a really common way in which we relate to ourselves and others. But when we start to heal, and we start to really connect with who we are and how we are and our hearts, our souls, right? The infinite love from which we come, and the spirit of life that moves through us, which is joyful. As we begin to feel those things, it begins to show up in our life. It can be uncomfortable, and it can be uncomfortable for the people around us, but sometimes it's just uncomfortable for us because we're not sure if it will be received. We're just not sure how to live in that, right? We're not sure how to live with that level of joy or happiness or peace or contentment because it's new. And so that's my encouragement for you. I mean, that was the sort of the question, is why? And those are my beliefs as to why we're uncomfortable. But really the work that therein lies is to get comfortable with discomfort. That's so much of what healing is. That is so much of what this work is that you are doing in your life, is just getting comfortable with discomfort. When you do it differently, when you're showing up differently, when you're living differently than you were before, because it's the right and best thing for you, it's going to be uncomfortable because it's unfamiliar. So get comfortable with discomfort, and then you can keep growing, right? So allow that to be the case. Okay, I feel joy, I'm uncomfortable with this, but I'm going to choose not to numb it out, right? And understand that we are ever-changing beings, like that we are moving and shifting from mood to mood to mood. So everything is a mood. Look at the sky right now is in a mood. Look at the sky. It's in a mood. My hair is in a mood. My hair is in a fucking mood every day. My hair is always in a mood. So giving yourself permission to know that you're not going to be at like some crazy level of excitement. Like if I was always here being like, I'm so excited, just yelling at you, my excitement, my loudness, right? It'd be like, whew, it'd be intense, right? It'd be intense to be at that level all the time. It doesn't mean I can't still feel joy within my peacefulness and my beingness, right? It doesn't mean that I can't, like yesterday I was feeling kind of under the weather. Like lately I've just been feeling a little tired, a little sluggish. So giving myself permission to be in those states and know that it doesn't mean anything bad because I'm not at some like crazy level of joyful. I'm not dancing around the living room. I don't feel like cooking dinner, right? So permission always. But when you feel joy come up and then you feel the other things come up, like Brene Brown talks about, the fear of, oh no, what if it gets taken away? Just know, like, yeah, that's life. Shit's gonna happen. Shit's gonna happen in life. It is. Forrest Gump taught us that. Or whoever made the bumper sticker, right? So don't let that get in the way of your joy and of your happiness. You can still choose to be happy because you can't help the fact that life happens. Life happens. Yeah, you still get to choose how you show up in that, and you get to choose your attitudes around it, and you get to choose whether or not you numb out or you go to the default of stress and anxiety, right? So the more you get comfortable with being joyful and at peace and at ease and not having things be wrong all the time, your life will just open up in beautiful ways, unexpected ways. And it won't be because you're efforting your way into it or trying to make shit happen, right? Anyway, that's a whole nother subject. I'm Jessica Amos. I'm a truth teller, a life transformation coach, a mindfulness teacher, and I'm the founder of Stay With Yourself, which is the practice of being who you are, where you are, in all moments, whatever mood you are in, and allowing for it, not numbing out, right? Okay. Leave comments, leave questions. Let me know how this lands for you. I would love to know. And I will talk to you soon. Sending you all the love.